Today, we're diving into a technological leap that could completely redefine global energy for the next 100 years. Because, this isn't just about a new kind of fuel, it's about the birth of a totally new kind of superpower. So, our story kicks off on a very specific day in a very specific place. In the early morning light over Hunan province, the world wasn't just about to watch another test flight. No, it was about to witness a fundamental shift in the balance of power. Because on this day, the debate was pretty much over. While Western nations were still stuck in the exploratory phase, publishing white papers, running simulations, China went and put a flight-ready engineering reality up in the sky.
Just look at this headline for a moment from the Global Times. This is the news behind today's video. China achieves first full-performance milestone in megawatt-class liquid hydrogen aviation engine. With that said, let's go straight to the intro.
The algorithm buries channels that show the truth like mine every single day. The only thing that fights back is you. One like, one subscribe, turn on the bell icon. That's how the truth about China survives on YouTube. Don't let it disappear. Thank you very much.
Okay, let's get right into this. That sound that just split the morning air over Jeju, that wasn't a conventional jet. It wasn't burning kerosene. That was the sound of a revolution, one powered by liquid hydrogen, the so-called holy grail of clean energy. And the really key thing to take away here is the sheer scale of it all. This wasn't some tiny lab experiment. The AP100 is the world's first megawatt-class hydrogen turboprop engine. That means it's powerful enough for serious industrial-scale aircraft. It powered a 7.5-ton cargo drone for 16 minutes straight, covering 36 kilometers. This one flight proved that the entire technical chain for hydrogen aviation wasn't a theory anymore. It was fully operational.
But to really wrap your head around how huge this achievement is, we have to understand the technical challenge. Because China didn't just succeed here, they succeeded by picking what was by far the hardest path possible. And this, right here, illustrates the strategic difference perfectly. You see, most Western projects are focusing on hydrogen fuel cells. Think of them like complex batteries. They're safer, sure, more established tech, but they just don't have the power density you need for big, long-haul jets. China? They went for what you might call hard mode, direct combustion, literally burning liquid hydrogen in a turbine. It is technically brutal to get right, but it's the only path that offers the kind of power needed to decarbonize the giants of the sky.
So what makes direct combustion so incredibly hard? Well, this table lays it all out. Liquid hydrogen has 3 times the energy of kerosene by weight, which is amazing. But, and it's a huge but, it has to be stored at a mind-numbing minus 253 degrees Celsius. That's just a few degrees above absolute zero, the coldest temperature possible. It also takes up way more space, which means you have to design totally new planes. And its flame speed is just crazy fast, demanding completely new kinds of fuel injectors. The Aero Engine Corporation of China didn't just solve these problems, they mastered them. Now, an engine like this doesn't just appear in a vacuum. It's really the crown jewel of a massive top-down national strategy. We're talking about the 15th Five-Year Plan, which is essentially China's blueprint for its entire future. See, in Beijing, a policy like this isn't a suggestion, it's a command. Hydrogen has been officially elevated to a strategic emerging industry and a new quality productive force.
What does that mean? It means it's now on the same level as AI and semiconductors, a core pillar of national power, and most critically, technological sovereignty. And this is the playbook for how they plan to win. It's a really clear 4-step process to make green hydrogen cheaper than fossil fuels. Step 1, dominate manufacturing to just crush the costs. 2, build massive renewable energy hubs for cheap power. 3, construct the pipelines to move the fuel around. And 4, use state funds to pull in enormous amounts of private investment. It's a ruthlessly efficient machine. And that first step in the playbook, manufacturing dominance, that's not some future goal. It's a present-day reality. China isn't just planning to corner the market. They already have. Just look at these numbers, it's staggering. China now manufactures 60% of the entire world's electrolyzers. Those are the machines that actually make green hydrogen. But even that number doesn't tell the whole story. In the key submarket of alkaline water electrolysis, which is the real workhorse of the industry, China controls an insane 85% of global capacity.
And this? Well, this is the economic knockout punch. Because of that massive scale and a totally vertically integrated supply chain, Chinese electrolyzers cost roughly 1/3 of their American or European rivals. They have, for all intents and purposes, set the global price. So when the world finally decides to build out a hydrogen economy, the hardware will almost certainly come from China. So, okay, they can make the fuel cheaply, but how do you move it? One of the biggest knocks on hydrogen has always been logistics. Well, China is solving that with concrete and steel on an absolutely epic scale. This is the hydrogen backbone. The state-owned company Sinopec is building a 400-kilometer pipeline to pump 100,000 tons of green hydrogen every single year, from the renewable-rich west to the industrial heartland around Beijing. It's a literal artery of clean energy, and it's designed to be way more efficient than trucking it. You know, while other countries are stuck in that chicken and egg problem, no demand without stations, no stations without demand, China is just building both.
They're on track to have 1,000 refueling stations by the end of 2025. That's the largest network in the world, and it creates a ready-made market for fleets of heavy-duty trucks and other vehicles. And this revolution isn't just happening in the air, it's a total multimodal transformation. On the rails, you've got the Sinopec H2, the world's first hydrogen-powered intercity train. On the water, massive new hydrogen-fueled container ships are being launched. It's the systematic effort to replace fossil fuels in every single sector where batteries just can't get the job done. Now we come to the endgame, because this has never been just about building engines or pipelines. The ultimate goal here is to control the very standards and the intellectual property that will define this entire industry for generations to come. And this is how the strategy becomes permanent. By the end of 2025, China was filing 5 times more green patent applications than its nearest rival. They are leading the committees that are writing the international rules for hydrogen safety and refueling. Why? Because when you write the rules and you own the patents, you're not just a player in the market, you are the market.
And this all comes back to a core concept for Beijing: technological sovereignty. This entire hydrogen push is driven just as much by a desire for energy security and self-reliance as it is by decarbonization. It's about making sure China is never, ever dependent on foreign powers for its energy needs again. Which leaves us with a pretty powerful final question. Is this whole grand project about creating a green future for the entire world? Or is it about building an impregnable energy fortress for just one nation, giving it an unparalleled strategic advantage for the 21st century? What is absolutely certain, though, is that we are watching the birth of a new kind of energy superpower. China has shown it has the long-term vision, the technological prowess, and just the raw industrial muscle to move hydrogen from the lab to the sky, the sea, and the land, all while much of the world is still debating. If you want to keep track of these monumental shifts, well, you know what to do. Like this explainer, subscribe, and definitely hit that notification bell. And let us know in the comments, what part of this technological revolution should we break down next? China's solid-state batteries? Their space program? Let us know what you think. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.